If you're shopping for a sensible, well-rounded small luxury crossover SUV with few bad habits, the 2015 Acura RDX is a great place to start. Redesigned just a couple of years ago, the RDX starts with a simple, handsome shape free of gimmicks and excess. That same idea translates to its cabin, which despite its wealth of standard equipment, presents straightforward, easy to understand controls, high quality construction, and comfortable seating for the front and rear. So let's go ahead and check out this 2015 Acura RDX. Now, like I said, the RDX has a quite handsome shape for the styling department, and then on the sides you have some pretty smooth lines with some nice creases that finish off the overall vehicle. However, don't expect to find anything like LED daytime running lights. It's not really trying to win any design awards. Now here's the key fob design for the vehicle. Typical Acura stuff here. You have your panic button to release your tailgate, your unlock, and then your lock. The key fob has a slight premium feel. Now this generation RDX actually came out in 2013, and when it came out for the 2013 model year, it had a fresh new look, better and more fuel efficient powertrains, and had a much higher quality interior. Now when the RDX was introduced for the first generation back in 2007, it had a lack of a premium feel inside and had a firm ride as well. And this kind of car, you really want a comfortable ride, not really a firm ride. And pretty mediocre fuel economy too, but it had pretty compelling performance. But the fuel economy, the firm ride, and the lack of a quality feel were its biggest flaws. Now, it is a silver metallic exterior with smart key access on the driver and passenger doors, with a parchment leather interior, power driver seat controls, power recline, power lumbar, basic stuff here. Now stepping on into the vehicle has a pretty low step in height, and that's one of the benefits of having a small crossover over a full-size traditional body-on-frame SUV. And this car is actually based off of the Honda CR-V, so of course it's going to have a low step in height. Now you do have push button ignition, of course. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. Leather wrapped steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, you have a 6-speed automatic, pretty standard stuff here. Putting it into sport mode, you can shift it manually via the paddle shifters. Putting the vehicle into reverse displays your standard rear view camera with guidance lines. You can also change the views by clicking on this dial right here. You have a top-down view, a wide view, and your normal view. And I'm going to turn on the lights and the hazards as well. Driver and passenger window are fully automatic. And let's go ahead and pop the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signals integrated onto the mirrors. Now under the hood you will find a very strong yet fuel efficient 3.5 liter V6. Now this powertrain produces 273 horses with 251 pound-feet of torque. This is actually the standard powertrain. No optional powertrain is available on the RDX. EPA estimates are rated at 19 in the city, 27 on the highway, with 22 combined. All-wheel drive is also optional. However, some rivals are a little more faster than the RDX and sportier as well. Now, prices of the RDX start at the base model, which starts at $35,095, and then you can get the technology package, which includes navigation and all of the technology you can get out of the RDX, which starts at $38,795, and then all-wheel drive is also optional on those two trims. Now, compared to some of its competitors, the RDX has a pretty generous price. Now, its competitors include the Mercedes-Benz GLK, Lexus RX, the BMW X3, as well as the Audi Q5. You also have some pretty handsome looking 18-inch alloy wheels. They're not really flashy at all, they're just quite conservative looking and handsome looking at the same time. Now, our RDX we have here has all-wheel drive. Rear window wiper with a rear window defroster, of course. Definitely has some styling cues of the larger MDX, especially in the rear. Now, EPA estimates, like I said, are 19 in the city and 27 on the highway. Total vehicle price for this particular RDX is $42,245. Now, this RDX also includes the wood dash kit, which is a $375 option. Coming to your door panels, everything is in the highest of quality. Everything is a soft touch, nice buttery leather material. You have nice stitching on the armrest as well as the borderline between the upper door panel and the mid door panel. Chrome door handles and memory seats for 2 people. Power windows, power door locks, power mirrors as well. And let's go ahead and hear that 3.5 liter V6. Very nice. Now, build and materials are excellent throughout the cabin of the RDX. The previous generation RDX was knocked for its pretty budget feeling interior. However, this is not the case here. All the materials have pretty much a nice soft touch padding. This is really soft to the touch. And then everything just feels very well put together, a typical Acura Honda product here. Now, coming to the steering wheel design here, I'm not a huge fan of this steering wheel design. I think it just looks quite plain looking and just slightly dated looking. But the steering wheel rim is pretty thin, I have to say. It's not thick like how a lot of other cars and SUVs are going nowadays. The steering wheel is actually pretty traditional as far as the thickness goes of it. But coming over here, you have your steering wheel mounted audio controls, your voice recognition, Bluetooth, basic stuff here. Over here you have your cruise control buttons, and then right here controls your information center and the center screen right there, which I will get to in just a second. Coming to the center stack here, it is pretty clean looking. However, up on this upper portion right here, it does look very button happy. However, compared to the previous generation RDX, it is much better and much more cleaned up. Coming down here to this lower section, you have all of your AC controls, dual zone automatic climate control. Pretty easy to figure out here. You have your fan speeds and then your different zones right here. Front window defroster and your rear window defroster and your heated exterior mirrors. Coming down here, You have your 12-volt power outlet, a auxiliary input, and then your iPod USB connection, and a little storage cubby too as well. Coming down here, you have your cup holders, and then your heated seat buttons are located right here as well. Coming to the center console, it's nicely padded. You also do have a power outlet down there, and the center console is a decent size. Coming up here, you have your auto dimming rearview mirror, garage home link, pretty basic stuff here. Your sunroof with your sunroof controls. Sunglass container. Now, as far as driving dynamics go of the vehicle, behind the steering wheel, it's pretty numb. It handles some corners pretty well, but for the most part, it's pretty numb behind the steering wheel. Compared to the Lexus RX, however, it is better, but for the most part, this car is leaning towards the comfort side more than the sport-oriented side. And some rivals are definitely sportier, like the BMW X3. But, however, with the 3.5-liter V6, there is definitely enough passing power for your daily commute, and you won't feel like the powertrain is anemic. Now, as far as visibility goes out of the RDX, you do have a pretty massive C-pillar back there, which creates for a pretty massive blind spot. However, the rear view camera is standard, so that does help out quite a lot. The glass area all around the car is respectable. It's not really good. It's not as good as, say, as the BMW X3, and there's just not a whole lot of glass area all around, and that can be a pretty big con for some. Now, as far as seating comfort goes, I love the seat designs, and the comfort of them are superb. You have a nice right amount of side bolstering, and then also the perfect amount of cushion without feeling like a couch, like how a Lexus is. But however, there is a decent amount of side bolstering, which is very important, and it's very supportive, very comfortable, and also thigh support is also pretty good too. I have managed to find a pretty comfortable driving position. Now, you also do have a manual tilt and telescopic steering wheel too. Very nice range of adjustment. Now, coming to the gauges here, the gauges are pretty nice. They have a nice font to them. However, don't expect to find anything like a TFT display. Coming to the information center screen over here, like I said, it's all controlled by these buttons right here. And then basically it's going to show you all your vehicle information, like your average MPG, and then your range, and then your elapsed time, average speed, your tire pressure monitoring, your oil life, and then you can customize your settings too. Now let's get to my favorite head unit here. This is Acura and Honda's head unit that they have been using for I don't know how long. The interface of it is pretty much the same. They have updated the graphics and rendering over time. However, the navigation has stayed pretty much the same over the past 12 or 11 years. I'm not going to get too in-depth with it, however. But coming right here, you have all of your audio functions, your AM, FM, XM satellite radio, and then you also have your presets located right here. Your optical disc drive is also located right there too. And one thing that the RDX is also lacking is the lack of advanced safety features. Don't expect anything like forward collision warning or even lane departure warning, anything of that nature. And for the 2015 model year, I would have expected the RDX to be updated like how the Honda CR-V has been updated. The CR-V has more advanced safety features available for the 2015 model year. But coming to your destination, you have your address book, and then you can just select to go home straight from there, and then it'll guide you home. You also have Zagat reviews. You can also place your phone number, and you also have a go home too. Coming to your phone is paired to the system. You can just click on phone right here, press the button for the phone right there. Then you have all your phone book, and then you have your text messaging function. You also do have a speed dial button as well. Now, as far as the sound system goes in this vehicle, it's pretty good. You have an ELS surround sound system, Grace Note too. But overall, I would love to see maybe Honda's 2-screen dash design. I love that a lot better than this outdated. Also, what I would really love to see available on the RDX is Honda's lane watch system, which pretty much acts like a blind spot monitoring system. It's a little camera on the side mirror, only on the right side, and then when you signal to the right, the camera display will actually display right there. Alright, and let's go ahead and shut down the RDX. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle, including the rear seat passenger space as well as the trunk capacity. Material and build quality does follow through in the rear, and you have chrome door handles back here. Now, sitting back here, you're actually in for a treat. There's actually a generous amount of legroom back here, and usually in small crossovers like these with pretty much the seat all the way back, it can get pretty cramped, and this seat is pretty much all the way back, and I still have a generous amount of legroom. I'm very comfortable back here. And like I said, this vehicle is based on the Honda CR-V, and the Honda CR-V is a very roomy vehicle. Now, coming right here, you have your storage cubby. However, I am pretty disappointed. This car is pretty much loaded all the way to the max, and this doesn't even have rear air vents or a power outlet back here. So I'm pretty disappointed in that regard. Coming right here, you have your center armrest with cup holders, pretty standard stuff, and then you also do have your dual map pockets. The seating comfort back here, the seats are very nice. They're very nicely supportive, and I have a nice right amount of thigh support as well. So overall, it's a pretty nice place to be back here. However, options like heated rear seats or any of that is not available on the RDX. Oh. Coming back here, you also do have a generous amount of cargo space, and it has basically the CR-V's feature where you can pull the levers right here and the seats fold flat just like that. Makes it very easy to use, very convenient. And you also do have a power tailgate as well. But overall, has a nice right amount of cargo capacity. Full power passenger seat with power recline. Your glove box compartment, nice and damped. So with ample power, a high quality cabin, strong fuel economy, and outstanding legroom, the 2015 Acura RDX is a solid choice for a premium small crossover. So remember that this is Cameron Birch